I really got into pro wrestling around 2008, and that just so happened to be the year Jeff Hardy rose to the top of the mountain in WWE. Cody's year-long odyssey was well done, but I think Jeff Hardy's falls under the radar when talking about great long-term booking, kicking off the year losing to WWE Champion Randy Orton in January, and then finishing the year winning the WWE title in December. I was around 10 years old when this happened, and it got me hooked. I was invested in not only Jeff Hardy, but the chaotic and sometimes magical storytelling of pro wrestling. But it's now the year 2024. Jeff Hardy just made a big return in the main event of a wrestling pay-per-view that can barely crack 1 million views on YouTube in its first couple of days of it being uploaded. How did we get here? And should wrestling fans still even care about Jeff Hardy? I'm Ace from Shockwave Sports, and let's do a deep dive on the state of modern Jeff Hardy. But let's start in the past. Probably the last time there was a big fan investment in Jeff Hardy was actually when his brother Matt Hardy was leading the hype. After years of being the less popular Hardy, Matt created the broken Matt Hardy character. His antics and voice at first left TNA fans confused. It all came together though in the very first Final Deletion match. The match went viral online, it put a lot of eyes on the product, and made the Hardy Boys relevant once more. So relevant, in fact, when their TNA contracts expired, WWE was so quick to sign them, like literally hours after those contracts expired, they had one of the greatest returns in WWE history at WrestleMania 33, and they win the tag titles. It can only go up from here, right? Well, the creative at WWE didn't really get the whole broken Matt Hardy universe, but that is a story for another time. Let's focus on what Jeff Hardy was up to. After losing the tag team titles, Jeff Hardy shortly after got injured and returned on the Raw after WrestleMania 34. He got drafted to SmackDown, and during this run, he won the United States title, had an excellent feud with Randy Orton, and it all ended with Jeff Hardy finally competing in a Hell in the Cell match. I gotta give it to him. That fall from the cage was a crazy spot no one at that point tried to do yet. Soon after, we get 2020 WWE, aka the Performance Center WWE, aka the Thunderdome, and all of that. Just great stuff, right? Jeff Hardy actually won the Intercontinental title during this, which was cool to see. But also during this era, he had a feud with Sheamus that tackled his past with substance abuse. Now, this wasn't the first time WWE brought this up. Samoa Joe made comments about it when he feuded with Jeff, but this one with Sheamus got really awkward. They had a fight in a bar, there was a car accident angle, and just overall wasn't necessary. It didn't get Sheamus any heat, and it didn't really help Jeff Hardy get over. He was going to be massively popular no matter what. This leads to Jeff Hardy's eventual release from WWE. I'm not really here to speculate what Jeff was actually doing here. That is up to you all to form an opinion, but at a live event, Jeff Hardy left in the middle of his match and went through the crowd. No one really knows what happened, but WWE saw it as an inappropriate thing to do and released Jeff Hardy later that month after Jeff refused to go to rehab. After his no-compete clause ended, Jeff Hardy makes his All Elite Wrestling debut, reuniting with his brother Matt, who left WWE in 2020. The Hardys faced the Young Bucks at Double or Nothing in a solid tag team match that year, but unfortunately Jeff Hardy's demons came back to haunt him once more, receiving a DUI and was suspended by AEW. He did eventually return, but you could tell it was not the same. Appearing on AEW Rampage most of the time, which is the least watched show, and after an injury in a Sammy Guevara match, Jeff Hardy pretty much was not seen on AEW again. Earlier this year, Matt Hardy made his return to TNA, and he and others waited for the eventual return of Jeff Hardy, which occurred at the Against All Odds pay-per-view after his brother's world title match against Moose. So, why didn't this feel like a big comeback? Well, it was a busy week in the world of pro wrestling, to be fair. Clash at the Castle was happening, Joe Hendry showed up on NXT, and the Wyatt Six finally made their debut on Raw. So the Jeff Hardy return could have just gotten lost in the shuffle, but I think there's a little more to it. Fans might just be a little tired and frustrated. Every time Jeff Hardy has made a big comeback somewhere, it has either ended with creative not doing anything with him, or he unfortunately gets in trouble. So what can he do this time to make it different? Well, I have a couple ideas. Let's go over them. The first idea is that Brother Nero returns with Broken Matt Hardy. Another final deletion match sounds like a lot of fun, and with TNA fully doing a nostalgia rebrand this year, it would make a lot of sense. But I'm not sure what Jeff Hardy specifically can do more with that character. Brother Nero is basically a zombie-like character, so he can't really get a world title run out of it. The next idea is that he turns heel. I know the last time Jeff Hardy turned heel, it did not work out well, but I think the character, at least, was working. You could bring it back, give it the proper run it deserves, and Jeff Hardy could probably get a final world title run with that character, I think. And maybe during that run, he could elevate a younger talent and get them really over. The last idea I want to talk about is a long shot: NXT. We see the TNA crossovers are really popular for the brand, and I think Jeff Hardy showing up would be a fun pop. But I think we gotta go beyond that. Jeff Hardy could be a great veteran for these NXT wrestlers and set an example on how to overcome addiction and the tough lifestyle of a pro wrestler. Matt Hardy, I think, would be a great producer for WWE in general. He has such a creative mind for pro wrestling, and if Jeff Hardy wants to maybe follow him, they can both help the future. That would be awesome. Is it a final world title run? No. But I'm not going to cling on to that moment of euphoria in 2008. I know at this point we can't really relive that, but I can't help but always keep an eye on Jeff Hardy because of what he did for me, and I know a lot of fans feel the same way. So whatever happens, I hope Jeff Hardy finds himself to be content and finds happiness in whatever the next chapter of the charismatic enigma is. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know what your favorite Jeff Hardy moment is. My favorite is probably his 2008 SmackDown match against The Undertaker. I remember being so hyped he beat him, and I think it really legitimized his character, and became a true main event star after that. Check out our WWE 2K series on the channel while you're here. It's the #1 destination for your creative wrestler. See you all in the next video.